All right, so everybody, I have a good friend of mine that I've known, oh my God, maybe 7, 8 years. It's been a while, right?
It's up there, man. We're almost hitting double digits.
Everybody, I want to welcome JB, Jared to the studio. He's a content creator. He's got several platforms. I think you got like 7 accounts all over the place. You have, Rewind, you have your channel, and I see you're very active on TikTok and IG. So yeah, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you cover and what you do.
Yeah. I'm again fellow content creator, and we first actually met, in the movie scene. You've broadened your horizons. You kind of cover a little bit of everything, and I love that. I love different kind of niches and stuff. But yeah, I started in just kind of movie reviews, and then transitioned that into like reactions, full breakdowns, Easter egg videos, stuff like that. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, basically everywhere. But like you said, I kind of wanted to branch out too, and I didn't want to like make my whole one channel flooded with shorts, so I did a separate shorts channel. And then just as a complete side project, I don't make any money from this side project, but that Saturday morning cartoon, and we'll probably get into this later a little bit more deep, but my retro rewind is basically just me mocking up 4 hours of old 90s cartoons and commercials from that time. Just basically like, this was my childhood. So I wanted to recreate that. And obviously with copyright, it's kind of tough to get around. But I don't know. I just, doing a little bit of side projects here or there. But yeah, content creation, man. The grind never stops.
Oh, man. Tell me about it. It never does, man. Yeah, and I got to hand it to you because, we know a lot of other people. And what I've always appreciated about your content is that you always wore like costumes at the time. You would always like, be a character, dress up as a character, do all these little skits. And from a content creator standpoint, we always know about the grind. You got to be producing. You got to go out there. The algorithm finally recognize you, so you got to continue to post. But from your creative standpoint, I can imagine sometimes it's emotionally exhausting, man. Because like I'm very creative, but at times I'm like the well spent. I'm like, I don't know what else to talk about. I guess I'll talk about cheating again or something like that, or the MCU, whatever moves the needle. But yeah, it can get exhausting at times. How do you manage that, dude?
Well, I mean, I would say, first off, thank you for that, because that was one of the things that I wanted to do to try to like stand out, bring in your analysis of movies and stuff. And everyone can do, like, if you're in the realm of movies, you can do that. So I was like, how do I kind of stand out? And I liked making sketches, little skits, just a little bit of creativity and like dressing up. I loved Halloween growing up and stuff. So I have a plethora of costumes and whatnot.
You kept them still?
Oh yeah, funny. Like a big long like clothes rack or whatever. I have one in the spare room back here, just like and I bought bags and like all the costumes have like little names on them and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I totally agree. Like it's putting in that extra effort, creativity wise. And that helped. That stood out. There was kind of sketches thrown in there, but it is a lot of extra work. Like, truthfully, if you just want to turn on a camera, talk for a minute, and post it, that's going to do well. If you want to just sit down and plan something out and edit for 24 hours, that might do well.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how, like, you can put all your heart and soul into something and it gets no views, and then you just put something up that you made, like, within a second or 20 minutes, and it goes viral. So it's funny how social media can really reward just instantaneous creativity and just throwing it out there, but the hard stuff that we edit and cut and put together, it hardly gets traction from time to time.
And again, this is like inside creator, inside baseball talk or whatever, and it's very interesting how I think one of my top performing videos, this is short form by the way, one of my top performing videos, 10 million views maybe. I woke up, I was hungover, I filmed it in 30 seconds and just boom, posted it. And it's just like, truthfully, for people outside of the realm of creativity or content creation, none of this makes sense. It's very hard to actually be on the right track of knowing whether or not you're doing well, because things can kind of switch overnight. There might be a hiccup. And truthfully, you might have a grade A golden video topic. Everything's perfect, but it just does not hit the algorithm at the right time. Just kind of some science projects I'll do every now and then is I'll post the same video over like within a year a few times just to see. And there's a few that I call like the perfect video because every time they'll get 2 million views.
Yeah. And I'm the same way. Like, it's funny, like you said, I branched out and I still do the movie reviews from time to time. I
Yeah.
post at least once a month, excuse me, once a week, and do short reels here and there because it's a good escape from the other topic in root advice. Because again, as you can imagine, when I started coaching about 2 years ago, I get like maybe 1 or 2 appointments a day, sometimes 3 or 4, depending on what's going on. But it can be emotionally draining. Talking about divorce and cheating, and my wife left me, my husband left me, and it's like Gen X Reviews, my other channel, is now a cathartic escape now where I
Mm-hmm.
can go and just talk about Resident Evil, Scream, and whatever else. It's a good release for me. Not that I carry a lot of what I hear from people on me, because I've learned very early on that I can't carry people's burdens on me because that would just destroy me. So I listen, I'm an empathetic ear, but I do need a release from that and go to my family, go to the reality here and keep that, that sanctuary safe and clean. So it's a very cathartic escape for me and I enjoy it. And it's doing well. I mean, it's doing well. I've networked. I've met a lot of wonderful people, including yourself, and it's a wonderful thing. And I remember when I started that channel, I was going through my divorce, right? And I was fearful about putting myself out there, thinking people would make fun of me. And I found it the total opposite. I felt people like encouraging me, hey, keep up the good work, and people offering help and assistance. Did you find the same type of like reaction when you put yourself out there?
Oh man. I mean, it is interesting because that's something that maybe people don't fully think about or think through of like, I need to be a little bit vulnerable because
Yeah.
you don't know who's going to see this. And I've walked a tightrope of I can handle this and I am just crumbling from the comments or the stress or, you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. You wake up, you have no creativity and you're kind of like that in of itself is just like, for myself, it's like, okay, well, I'm not achieving what I came to do today. That's a failure. So I've dug one scoop into a hole. And then tomorrow, the same thing happens. And you
Yeah.
just slowly get deeper and deeper on yourself. That's how I my mentality. And I would say that's one angle of it. But yeah, weirdly, the positivity usually outweighs the negativity. But when you get one negative comment on something that you like, they'll find that chink in your armor. And I'm just like, why? Why did I let this person take time and energy from my day? And I'm better about it. I'll admit that.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those things that's a skill that you have to kind of work up. And it's rough sometimes, some people watch this or see content creators and be like, oh, this is perfect. I'm like, you don't understand my mental health, sir. It is dwindling right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially the comment piece. It's funny how, you can get like, for example, like say you put a video out there and you got like 100 comments and majority, let's say 98% of them are just supportive. Hey, Jared, you hit it on the fucking bullseye, blah, blah, blah. But then you'll get 2 comments that will call you idiot or stupid or like, what a loser. Nobody cares, bro. And for whatever reason, for many years, that one negative comment affected me. And I was like, and it's not just me, it's Cody, it's Sean, it's everybody. I'm like, why is that? Why is that the psychology with us content creators? We can be consistently being overwhelmed with positivity from our community, but that one comment just gets us. I mean, why do you think that is?
I think it's just no one, I mean...
It's a tough answer, right?
I'll take this instead of just a content individual person, but put it into content in general. Hate and rage spread so much quicker than love and positivity. And I think it's one of those aspects that gets into your own psyche and whatnot. It's fascinating that you do stew or focus kind of like on that one individual comment. I think it's just psychology. I don't think that there's a right or wrong answer. I've talked to some other creators because you mentioned some just before this. There's some that are able to just see right through that. They have the horse blinders on. They're focused on their goal. And I envy those people.
Mm-hmm.
But also you have to kind of realize that like they're probably dealing with that too. Everyone's human. So maybe behind the scenes, they're dealing with that hate too.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me, I really had to learn fast, especially like you said, when I went over to Rude Advice. And the whole Rude Advice thing kind of started by accident because I was knee deep in Gen X reviews. At the time, it was called Rudy's Movie Reviews, but it was during COVID and everybody was on TikTok and everyone was talking about, I was just on the feed, just like everybody else. And I saw so many people complaining about dating after divorce. And I just say, hey, I've been through that. I know what that's like. So I shared a video and boom, it just went viral. And that's kind of like how everything kind of took off with Rude Advice. But I had to learn really quickly that when I was telling my stories, cheating, divorce, heartbreak, those are all intimate emotions and like experiences from people, and they vary from person to person. So when people were attacking me, it hurt my feelings, especially like, oh, I hope they take away your kid, you fucking asshole, all these type of things. But they're not really attacking me. They're upset at what happened to them. And I had to like learn, like, okay, these people that are saying these horrible things, it's about their personal experience and their perspective. It's not really toward me. So I learned shit. 2023 is finally 2022 when I finally kind of learned that mechanism of just letting it deflect off me, to kind of ignore those comments. And I don't respond to them as much as I did. I'm not like infuriated where I have to go like, you know what, you son of a bitch, well, fuck you. You know, I'm not doing that anymore. I just read it and move on with my life.
Yeah. And well, I'm glad that you brought that up because I was kind of curious because obviously, you know, we met in the movie realm.
Yeah.
You've jumped over a little bit. You dabble in this relationships, you do coaching, all this other stuff. I think it's a little bit different. And I would love to hear your own opinion on this. But
Sure.
if someone goes after you for your opinion on a movie, that's very trivial.
Yeah.
But going into the realm of rude advice and someone's going after you as a father, as a husband, your kids, I'm sure that that's a completely different form of that negativity that, again, different stress that I'm dealing with. I'm very surprised that you're able to kind of carry that, but it sounds like you were able to kind of work through that.
Yeah. It came down. I think there was this, I don't want to get too much in the details of it, but there was that one time where that major creator kind of called me out. He lied about my story. And then for like about 2 months, I was just attacked by feminist groups saying they're going to call my kids. They're going to call CPS to get my kids turned in. You're a son of a bitch. You know, we're going to find out where you live. And they can't find any information because none of my information's out there public. But I just had to learn at the time, like I said, I can't, if I'm going to be doing this, I can't be taking this in a negative way. I can't let them destroy me because, again, there's a lot of angry people, and you know that in the social media space. Hate and division are what gets you the clicks and the engagement because social media is all reactionary. If you're pissed off, you're going to share it, you're going to comment, you're going to say something, right? And for whatever reason, people tend to gravitate back to that. Like they hate somebody, but they go listen to what they're saying. I don't understand that. So for me, yes, it was really hard. And to this day, if somebody says anything about my kids, I'm not gonna lie. I still want to crawl through the screen and beat the shit out of them. Like, you motherfucker, get over here. Yeah. But again, I can't take it personal. And usually, if it's a really hate-filled comment, like you fucking Mexican, you're an invader, get the hell out of here, I block them. And there's been, and speaking of that, I mean, I guess we can kind of go to that. This past year has sucked, and I have never experienced this amount of racism in my life, ever. And I just don't even engage with those people. I just block them immediately. How's it been for you, man, this past year?
I mean, I can't even imagine the stuff that you're getting because, again, you know, you're a father and married, and then also like the racial stuff. Because that I feel like just alone has kind of ramped up quite a bit. Obviously, with stuff that's happening in the last 6 months, year. I mean, heck, even January was the longest month of my life. You know, longest month of everyone's life. This last January. Oh gosh, there was a way I was going to go and I just completely lost it.
Yeah. I was asking like how you've been handling all this shit that's been going on for the past year. That was a question. So.
I mean, for myself, like it's very strange because I was the most casual person with staying up on the news and politics, but owning a small business and other people in my life, my friends and stuff, there's stuff that's affecting them. Yeah. And then I started paying attention more and I was like, oh, this is not good. You know, like one example is I, as a content creator, I work for myself.
Yeah.
I need health insurance. So I got that through the government, you know, marketplace and all that. And it's so goofy because everyone says, oh yeah, we want small businesses. We want people to thrive. This is the American dream. Well, it's kind of hard to do that when my health insurance tripled in 1 month from year to year, you know, last year to this year. And I'm just like, well, this is, what am I going to do? You know, I could just not pay my health insurance, which I'll admit I've done that for a couple of years. I just didn't have health insurance, but I didn't leave the house. Not a good thing. Do not do that. Do not follow my advice on that. So like a financial standpoint is a kick in the pants, but then everything else is just goofy, man. Like, again, you know, woe is me, but because this didn't happen to me. But my birthday was on September 10th. you know what happened on September 10th? We're not going to say the name, but something happened that morning. And I woke up, my birthday, got some coffee, very first scroll, boom.
Shit.
That sent me on just a spot. And again, you know, it didn't happen to me. It's such a trivial thing, but it's a birthday. It's this thing. And then it spins your mind because we're not supposed to see that stuff. Like that stuff shouldn't be on social media.
My son, who's 19, sent me the clip. It was on IG, and I could not believe I saw that in 4K.
Yep. I mean, I've listened to a few podcasts about the psychology of those kind of videos and stuff, and basically, like, you're not supposed to see it, and if you do, do not watch it again. And that is something that I'm going to be honest, I think collectively a lot of people are dealing with, and we're not even talking about. We need to talk about that. Is just like everyone's mental state is probably not doing well, but also, you know, with the government in Minnesota, and I live in Iowa, very close, you know, my grandparents used to live up in the heart of Minneapolis. So like a lot of the videos and stuff, I'm like, I've been to that street or I've been to that restaurant. It's very strange. But then seeing that, I'm just like, this isn't right. So like the mental state of not only kind of staying grounded in the content realm of getting ideas, being creative, not worrying about the hate comments, but then also trying to deal with the world and society that we live in. And I'll admit, I'm white, so I'm not dealing with the worst of the worst.
I don't know you're white.
I have friends. I have friends that are, exactly. I have friends, like so many other people that I know that are they're in the shit. So I'm like, how can I help? And it's the first time I've ever, you know, contacted my representatives and stuff, which, by the way, they don't give a shit about people. They'll ignore your call. You get just a template email. It's very frustrating.
Yeah. And you know what, man, I love you even more now because the fact that you, it says a lot about a person. And I think you and I are alike in that sense where we're like empathetic. We're completely different, but just because somebody on TV is hurting, that doesn't mean that I don't kind of like sympathize with them and understand what they're going through. Adam does movies. I don't know if you know who he is. He's another channel that he and I connected. Like we met one time and it like instantaneous. We became best friends. He lives in Minneapolis and he tells me firsthand what's going on. Like, for example, like there are parents with guns escorting kids to school. His kids went to school one day and came back crying. And he's like, what happened? Dad, half the school's gone. Like there are only 3 people in our class because the parents don't want to put their kids in school because ICE is raiding schools, and all the kids who spoke Spanish, all the kids who were just not white, they're gone. Like we don't know whether there's my friend gone. So there's so many, it's hurting everybody, not just people on the news, but like you said, people that are living there who are seeing this firsthand. And he's the same way as you. Like he's incredibly sympathetic and just like whatever I can do, man, let me know. I'm like, well, I don't know I don't even know where to begin with that. But I will say this again. Thank you for like you making those efforts and all, but it's crazy how you said how hate comments in one point, like, "Hey, Rudy, your review sucked on Marty Supreme," and like, okay, that's fine, whatever, it's your opinion. But when they start attacking you, like, there's so many screenshots I was sending like to text groups and my friends, like, "Hey, if you don't like it, you can fucking leave, Mexican." And I'm like, "Fucker, we were here centuries before you guys showed up. You know, you go back home." It's like, but they're attacking me. They're attacking me as an individual. That's a different type of hate. That's not my opinion. They're attacking me. And it took me a long time to get the hang of that, man. It's been pretty bad. And again, going back to the hate comments, hating my review is one thing, but hating me as a person is something that it took me a few months to get. Maybe I'm not getting a hold of it yet, but it took me a while to get. I'm still trying to get the hang of that. And I just don't know how we got here. I mean, I have an idea how we got here, but I can't believe how bad it is right now.
It's so quick too. I feel like, you know, maybe it's one of those things that we've seen this decline and we just weren't paying attention. I don't know, but reeling it back a little bit, the hate comments and all this other stuff. Like I had not kind of blocked anyone my entire kind of like career as a content creator. Really? I have no idea why. I think it was this weird, like, no, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to let them throw punches, but I'm going to be stronger. And within this last 6 months, you know, again, I kind of mentioned that I fell into kind of this depression hole. I kind of fell out of love for movies. Luckily, I got back into that through like various events over the last 4 weeks. But when some of that stuff happened in Minnesota or maybe even earlier, I posted a few things on my story, just like my Instagram story of like, I have a huge following. I can only do so much. I'm spreading this. Go to these links, sign up for this thing, call your people or whatever.
Yeah.
And so many people maybe just don't see other people on the internet as a person. Like, hey, I'm another you on the other side of the screen. Like this is just a small barrier. But the comments rolled in of like, hey, bud, stick to movies. You don't know this shit or whatever. And usually I just ignore it. But this time, and I wasn't going to do any nefarious. I was just going to scare this person.
Mm-hmm.
I instantly was able to. They had an avatar and a first name. In 5 minutes, I found where they work, who their name is, everything.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this person is an asshole. How do you get to an asshole? So I found out he had a girlfriend. The girlfriend has a small business. The small business has a website. I just took a screenshot of the website, sent it to him and said, uh-oh. That's all I did. Because I knew that fear, because also, the side note, Welcome to Derry was happening at this time, and Pennywise, deals with fear and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, that's more powerful than actually doing something. The guy instantly ... just typing for like 5 minutes, just. Mm-hmm. And then the first thing he's like, why the hell would you do that? That's a piece of shit. You know what? Why would you attack someone for a different opinion? And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. This guy doesn't even understand what he just did. Mm-hmm. You started it. So then I didn't say anything else. And then the goofy thing comes in. The next comment. Dude, I seriously love your content. Like this, I've been following you for so long, going for the, I love you card. Yeah. Didn't say anything to him. I just blocked him, and he will never get to see my content again.
Good. And I'm glad you made that standard.
People out there that are watching, listening to this, we are people. If you're going to say shit to someone, imagine you saying that to someone's face in public. You would never do that.
No.
Don't do that.
No. They never would, man. And that's the thing. Back in my day when I was young, right? It was like, say it in my face. Yeah. And they never did. For a while, like I'd go live on TikTok and there would like, this happened last year. People would say, hey, somebody call ICE. And I'm like, look, man up, get on the live. I'm inviting you. Boom. Send the invite. Talk to me. I want to look you right in the face. Let's fucking talk. Nah, I can't. All right, you fucking coward. Thank you. Like they have the fake avatar. They have the fake name, and they can say whatever they want because they know it's like there's an anonymity. They can be whatever they want, or maybe they're being their true selves, right? So when it comes to hate comments like that, when I see that, I just immediately ignore it. But my God, man, I swear to you, like I have never. There's only one time in my life that I felt racism, and it was in 2018. Me and my friend went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, to go see a U2 show, and it's primarily white. And I had never experienced that type of like energy. Like people were looking at me like I had a shirt that said "fuck you" or something incredibly offensive. People were just mean and cruel, and I'm like, do you feel this, dude? He's like, yeah, man, I don't feel safe. Let's get the fuck out. I didn't want to drink. That's the only time I felt it in person. It's escalated like a motherfucker over the past couple of years, and it's scary because either one, these are really the true feelings of how people feel, and they're just kind of being enabled by fuckface over there, and they feel they can finally be themselves, or they were manipulated to believe this. I think it can go either way, but what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm glad that you brought that up because I think that there are people that it's who they truly are. I mean, I am from, and this is not me calling anyone out from my hometown, but I'm from a small, middle of nowhere Iowa town, very red. I have like, my graduating class was like 34 people, a lot of farmers and stuff like that.
Okay.
Back home, I think my class, we had, I think, one black guy, 2 Hispanics, maybe 1 Asian person. So like very white. And unfortunately, if you're not leaving that town, that atmosphere and stuff, you get stuck in your ways. The people you're around, I think you just kind of slowly become them. Mm-hmm. Going over to the other thing of being manipulated or whatever, I don't know if you are aware of this theory or subscribe to this, but the dead internet theory, are you aware of this?
Can you tell me what that is? I don't know.
Yeah. So basically there's a theory out there that they claim that a decent amount of online traffic is all fake bots. There's very few actual people that are commenting, watching stuff. Not very few, but I think the latest breakdown was like 50-50. So theoretically, half the people that are commenting on your stuff or whatever are just bot farms. And then again, it's a theory. We don't know how true it is. But we know for a fact that like Twitter, overseas or whatever, they'll have like these server farms or user farms, and they're just pumping out content. So, I mean, a little bit conspiracy, but jumping on your other thing of being manipulated. Yeah, if you're online, you don't understand that all the stuff that you're seeing might be fake or manufactured. You then think that that's how a lot of people think. So then you change your mentality into thinking what you think everyone thinks. But in reality, that's nobody. That's someone telling you to think a certain way.
Yeah. Isn't that scary? How
it is. It really is.
So how a meme or a quick video that you haven't fact checked could persuade you and change your mind, and you think that's fact. I mean, people. That's one thing I noticed, and I'm kind of grateful that I grew up pre-internet. Like I remember the Yellow Pages and the paper and having to read. I love that I grew up in that era because I know the best of both worlds. I know what it's like on either end. So when I see a headline, I read the article. That's the way I've always been, because I know there's more to it, and the headline's really to grab you, like a comic book cover or something like that, or a movie poster. It's always exaggerated. And I've noticed that people just don't read. And the other thing to piggyback on that is the algorithm. The algorithm's gonna see what you're looking at. The longer you look at something, oh, okay, we're gonna give you more of this. You commented on this, we're gonna get you more of this. And I think it creates a psychosis for some people that they think all women ain't shit, like the red pill space in the dating world. Like women ain't shit, men ain't shit. The more you like and gravitate to that, it's all it's going to feed you. Before you know it, you've just encased yourself in this silo where anything outside of what you're getting is fake news or bullshit, which is fucking up a lot of people.
Yeah,
it really is, man. Have you seen that? I mean,
dude,
yeah,
so much of it. And again, I'm not going to call this person out, but
please
someone
do.
Close,
just kidding.
Just someone close to me. The Mr. Kirk fella. They had no clue. They should have had no clue who this person was.
Yeah.
After the whole fiasco, 2, 3, 4 weeks later, they're talking about him, and I'm like, I wanted to ask them where they found that, who they heard that from. Did they actually know his like true intent? Again, I don't know the guy, didn't know the guy, but from what I've seen, not someone that I think is a religious,
a Christ-like individual.
Yes, exactly. But when you just maybe watch Fox News or a certain channel or whatever, and that's what they're telling you, you then gravitate and buy into it. And it's fascinating because this person had no clue who that person was until they were told, and it was very fascinating to kind of see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I won't go too far into detail with the CK guy, but when he died, I didn't feel bad. I mean, I felt bad that he died, and I didn't hate the guy. I didn't actually know who he was. Like somebody in a chat group said, hey, he died. I'm like, who? So I did a quick search on Twitter, like, who is this guy? And the first thing I get is like a tweet that he had. It was during the LA, when ICE was in LA and the people were protesting with the Mexican flags. He goes, oh, it's funny that they're waving the flags in the US, but they don't want to go back. I'm like, is this the guy you're talking about? And they go, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I don't feel bad about it. I mean, I'm sorry that he died. I don't wish death upon anybody, but I don't feel anything. And I got attacked. That friend blocked me because to him, he was a godlike man. And I'm like, you know what? I like diving into the what I learned in therapy, and what I learned, if anything positive happened after my divorce, was to really get your head out of your own ass and try to put yourself in the other person's shoes to see the perspective and learn about them and how they see the world. And I'm like, that's just what I do. And I went ahead and watched 6 hours of his podcast, and I was fucking terrified of what he was saying, because he does preach. I went to Catholic school. I studied religion at Cardinal Ward University. I know a little bit about religion, and the fact that this was evangelical religion, and how he was calling women Jezebels, and how people who vote Democrat are demons, and that he was also talking about the great like a protection of the white race, and how we need to have more babies and things like that. It scared the fuck out of me, because deep down, I'm listening to this as a brown person, like, this is terrifying, man. I mean, I can understand from somebody's point of view that believes in what he's saying. He's speaking what I'm thinking. I get that, but it's so sheltered and terrifying that people see him as this martyr, and it's scary is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. No, I mean, I echo everything you say. I'm not huge into politics, and I'm not aware of.
No one ever was, right? Until recently. That's the thing.
Well, I mean, the thing is, politics is like pop culture now, and if you're not in, or at least have a general knowledge of what the heck is general knowledge, of what the heck is going on, you could just believe anything. And then going back a little bit, you're talking about like looking stuff up and reading the articles and whatnot. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I do all the time now is the publication, is this bias? Or is this a reputable source? Because there's a lot of just junk out there, like you're saying, misinformation, breaking. And it's like, dude, anyone can just say breaking on the internet. It doesn't mean it's true or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I listen to overseas news. And I did a search, like, what news outlets are non-biased and neutral? PBS, Rutgers, I think, and not Tangiers, but there's some other ones that are like overseas. And I have friends overseas. I have friends in Australia. I'm like, hey, what are they saying over there? And so I always ask outside to kind of get in. Then I go to like the ChatGPT and DeepSeek and to give me non-biased information, because I won't go to Fox, I won't go to CNN, because I know they're biased, and I want to get the factual information. And it's sad that many people nowadays, they don't seek knowledge, they seek validation, and they'll go to outlets that tell them what they want to hear. And that's what I think is hurting a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that concept right there that you just mentioned, it goes to the whole dating scene as well. It goes to movie scenes. Like, I only listen to people that like the movies I watch. And it's like, cool, you're getting one side of the commentary, one side of the story. But I truthfully think that you need to consume everything from both sides to get a full picture. And then you yourself kind of decide where you are amongst that line or that spectrum or whatever. Going back a little bit, like you mentioned that you grew up Catholic or whatever. I too went to classes every week, Sunday school, all that stuff. And it's just fascinating to see people preach this stuff, but act like opposite, like, oh yeah, get all the brown people out. And it's like, hold on. Did you not read the story of Jesus unless we got different copies? Because I was like, that dude's just hanging out. He doesn't give a shit about who you are. He's just, I'm here to make you better, like accept everyone. And it's very fascinating to see people that like go to church or preach it, but don't live it. And I'm very confused by that. But because also another thing is like, this is my opinion on it. Religion is used very much to manipulate people.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but it's pretty easy to do. If you're very devout to something and then people can find that, use it, and then kind of twist the words a little bit, you don't realize that you followed them into something that you don't actually subscribe to.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why, believe it or not, that's why I stopped going to church, because there are just too many fake people out there that go on Sunday, but then they leave and they're full of hate, and they didn't listen to the sermon or listen to the teachings. I mean, they cherry pick a few phrases here and there. But the Bible, in a sense, can be manipulated throughout history. It could be manipulated to kind of like to fuel your point. Like at one point, during the slavery days, the Bible says, you can have a slave. Slaves were in the Old Testament, so we're not doing anything wrong. So it can be manipulated in any way to prove a point, and that's why I just choose. I'm not a religious guy, but I believe at home, and I would not want to go to a church or anything like that, because I'm fine where I'm at. I don't want to surround myself with naysayers. I've been to too many churches where the pastor's fucking somebody else, or the youth pastor's fucking somebody's wife. I have spoken to so many clients in the 6 years I've been doing Rude Advice, where people say, my wife is fucking the pastor or the youth pastor. I'm like, yeah, we caught him in church. She goes to church every Wednesday and Bible study, and they were fucking in the car. I'm like, wow. Countless stories. I can't tell you the amount, but that's how many times. So for me, if you're religious, again, I want to be clear, Jared and I aren't bashing church or religion. I mean, I'm sure there's great churches out there, and there are a few pastors that I follow on TikTok that are beautiful. And like, these are the pastors that I will go to a church to, because they're telling like, hey, this is what you've seen up here. That's not Christianity. We're not a God nation right now. We're going to another place. They make God a mascot or whatever the case is. So I follow a lot of preachers, and I do study still, but oh my God, where was I going with this point? It's scary how people in history, let me kind of rewind here. Throughout history, if people believe that God is on their side, they can do atrocious things. There's Manifest Destiny when they took over here in the U.S. and just eradicated the Indians and the Aztecs. I mean, shit, all that things, but all in the name of God and country. people will do the most atrocious things because they think God's backing them up. How do we get on this topic of history?
I don't know, man. We've been going all over though. But one thing I will say, how you were saying, like, people still go, they preach and everything like that, but then they're doing stuff on the side, some heinous stuff. I tried to like mentally make sense of that because I'm one of these persons. I live by logic. If logic isn't met, my brain can't understand it somehow, so I have to dive into it. And part of me thinks that this is solely coming from a Catholic. You go, you confess your sins, and then you're, go say, a few prayers, and then you're set.
Do your penance and all that.
Yeah. I wonder if people are like, oh, I can do whatever I want during the week. I come here, I get washed of it, and then I'm good to go. And
Probably.
I'm like, we interpreted that very differently. I interpreted of like live by this code of Jesus or whatever, and you're not. And again, we're getting in the weeds, so we can get out of this topic.
Fair enough, man. But if you don't mind me asking, you mentioned dating, and again, I know the dating world. Like, I got a lot. What I'm really excited about is when I go live now, I have a lot of young men calling in, like in their 19, 18. I can't talk to anybody under 18, so I'll make that clear. But like 18 to like 25, they just had their first heartbreak. And I'm glad they're talking to me because I know there's a lot of influences out there that can steer them the wrong way and just get them to go down this red pill, like misogynistic, I hate women shit. And again, I know we've all had our heart broken once or twice in our lives. Like, Lord knows I have. But I'm not going to just take that experience and just paste it all over a demographic. Like, there's different people, different women, different experiences, right? So when it comes to dating, I mean, you're like what, 28, 25, 20?
I mean, I wish. No, I'm 35, dude.
No, you're not. Dude,
yeah,
you got that Ralph Macchio disease where you look younger than your age, man.
I mean, hey, man, that's the best comment I've gotten in a long time. But yeah, I'm unfortunately older.
No, you look great, man. I thought you were like 28 or something like that. You're still a young guy, man. I'll be 49 next month, man. I can't believe it. It's insane.
Damn. Hey, you look good.
Thank you, sir. I drink a lot of water.
I was going to say that's key. That's all I drink.
Yeah, water, jeans. Of course, my dad, before he passed, he looked great for being like 84, but he looked great, man. But I was going to ask you, are you dating right now? What's the love life like? And if you don't want to talk about this, we're fine. But how's that going along?
Oh, yeah. No. I am dating someone right now. I won't get into, I guess, specifics, any names or anything like that. But yeah, things are going pretty well. I think it's still, we aren't living together or anything like that. And it is kind of funny because I know I've watched some of your content about like exes.
Yeah.
Like, don't go back to them. It's not going to work out, anything like that. But I'll give a little bit kind of brief history or breakdown of this relationship because it's very interesting because it kind of goes against that logic, against that rule.
Okay.
So we've been together for about 6 months. But before that, okay, let's work back, I guess. 6 months. No, wait. I'm trying to think of the easiest way to explain this.
Take your time.
Let's start from the very beginning.
Okay.
We worked together in college.
Oh.
We worked at a water park, lifeguards, outside of lifeguard activities during the summer, you're basically drinking. You go to the pool, you work all day, nighttime, you party, you hang out, you do that thing.
Nice.
We met in college and we were flirty and everything like that. But then summer was over. So kind of just like poof. And we didn't see each other for a decade.
Wow.
Then randomly popped up on, I think, Tinder or Bumble or something, maybe Hinge. I think it was Hinge. And I was like, this person looks familiar. Is this? And I had to like do, a little creep on Facebook. I was like, damn, this girl, same girl, looks very fine. So I was like, okay, I'll send a message. Actually, I don't even know. I didn't send a message. We matched and then she sent a message. And I was like, ooh, okay, initiative. And she actually asked me on a date. And the one thing is that it stood out to me. It was a breakfast date, a brunch date. I've never been on one. I love brunch. Yeah. Even if it's bad, I got brunch. I got coffee. I'm up for the day,
Yeah.
So went on a date. Everything was great. And then actually we hung out later that day and watched a football game at another bar. We dated for 2.5, 3 years, I think it was.
Oh, that's a while. Okay. Yeah, that's not time.
But things just kind of fell apart because, she was dealing with her stuff. I was very stressed from just life and what I really wanted and content creation. And, things just weren't going well. The numbers weren't good, Rudy. The numbers.
Yeah. Where are the views? Where are they at?
Yeah, exactly. And it's such a weird stress. But I was like, I need to step away from this. And I was planning on moving and all these kind of big moves in life. But at that time, I was like, okay, I need to do things for myself. I kind of almost like went into this like hibernation type thing of like, okay, I'm going to work out. I'm going to kind of get my mind straight, read some books, focus and work on the things I want to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 6 months later, I think she randomly texted me and was like, hey, I know we're not together. It'd just be nice to talk to you, catch up. Had a couple drinks or whatever, and I was very like, I'm going to keep you at arm's length because I don't know where this is going to go, if this is, whatever. And I think she was kind of the same way as well, because in that time, she went off and kind of found her stuff too. So it was kind of interesting to come back together because we both have our own things now, hobbies, careers, friend groups or whatever. And that was different because I feel like when you're in a longer term relationship, you kind of, it's that person. You're not a unit per se, but you're going to kind of hang out with the same groups of people. You're doing the same things. There's a lot more time that you're together rather than like exploring things outside of it or whatever. So, very slow into that, but then it turned into a relationship again, and we've been going for about 6 months now since that.
Right.
So not necessarily following your initial thing of like, do not get back together with them, but like those first few months, I very much lived by that because I wanted to call, I wanted to text, but I was the one that like ended it, and I didn't want to fuck with someone's head of like, hey, I know I broke up with you, but you want to hook up, and it's like, no, do not do that. So I don't know. It's fascinating.
It is. And I say that because I tend to, when I design the content, I go with the 80-20 rule because majority of the time when people break up, it ended for a reason. All right. You were incompatible. They were maybe gaslighting you. You guys wrong time, whatever the case is. So when I say that, I mean it, but I also add a little caveat on lives. I go, the only time it makes sense to get back with the next, and you may have heard this already, is when I say when both of you come back as better people. Like if you're coming back on the basis of hope, like I hope things work out this time, it's not going to work. If you're going back because you miss them, it's not going to work. If you're going back because you're lonely, it's not going to work. If both of you put in the work to become better people and know what you both have, and you have somebody coming in, and it's not the relationship shouldn't be like it was before. It should be different. The communication should feel safer, and it should be overall improved. If you have all those elements, then it's okay. You both learn from the distance and you both learn to appreciate each other, then yeah, go ahead and get back together. But if you're going back and it's the same thing, the same fights and saying like, she's not listening to me, she doesn't appreciate me, it's one-sided, you're wasting your time. So, but that's why I say the 80-20 rule. There's a 20% chance that, yeah, it could work out, but you really have to like take off the romantic blinders and say, okay, they came back, but why did they come back? Did they come back because they miss me, or maybe that other person didn't work out and now they're coming back because they know I'm waiting for them? There's always a reason why they came back, and always you did the right thing, by the way. You just kind of holding off and just seeing where things are going. You were protecting yourself and being patient with it. Most people don't have that discipline, dude. So that's why it worked out for you.
I mean, yeah, it really did. But like the mental process, what you're talking about, it went through my brain a couple times. I'm like, oh, you're coming back. I'm just, chopped liver. I'm whatever. I'm the guy that's like, I'm all reliable, and that's not the mindset I should be in or whatever. And, you can't help what your mind thinks sometimes, but you can react the way that you should or need to, because your brain says a lot of things that aren't true a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was the first few months, it kind of felt goofy because like, you, after a breakup, you tell everyone, and then it's kind of weird to go and be like, hey, all that shit I said, just kidding.
Yeah. We're back together. Like, didn't she cheat on you? Like, it doesn't matter. Don't you talk ill of her?
Dude, we're only going back. I'm 35. What am I going to do?
You're right, man. I always call myself out in videos, but you do remember that one ex that I had, right? Like, I think you mocked one of our videos, one of her photos that she did, which was pretty fucking hilarious. That pissed her off, by the way. But I thought it was hilarious.
I thought it was cool.
She was that type of person. She's that type of person, but it's funny. Like, she cheated on me and with an ex, it broke my heart. And then she came back and she said she wanted me, but she had that dress that drove me insane. And I'm like, Okay. I
It's like
took her
this
back as
one
just
time.
based on looks, man. Yeah, she cheated on me. You know what? And then you try to make it try to have it make sense in your brain. You know, she messed up. She's allowed to mess up one time. I've messed up. Yeah. And then she cheated again. And I'm like, I'm fucking done.
Mhm.
But it's yeah, you're right,
Well,
man. It's funny how you see things and you try to make it logic and how to make it work in your brain. But sometimes us guys are stupid and we just go off looks.
yeah,
Like me.
yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah, man. I mean, it is fascinating because like, for example, I remember there's this one woman that basically the same situation tried to get back together solely based on looks. And I was just basically like, she could do whatever she wanted. I was just like, yes, yes. And I remember going to, the opening night of Star Wars: A Force Awakens. No, what was the first one I knew?
The Force
The
Awakens.
7. Was it
Oh,
The Force
the Last
Awakens?
Jedi. Yeah,
No,
the
no, no,
seven
no.
was the Force Awakens.
Thank you. Went to that movie. Got there early, and we saw a group of our friends. I was like, hey, it's your friends. Like, you want to go say hi? And she's like, I don't want to be seen with you, or I can't be seen with you. And then I had to go and sit and watch the whole movie after having that be said to me. So I'm
Oh,
like, you got
Jesus.
to be kidding me. So, I mean, everyone in the dating realm or whatever, you deal with shit, but it's weirdly character development that you have to kind of like be like, oh no, this is going to build me into a better character.
Yeah.
Because that's one instance. And there's another one that like just sticks out at me is I was dating this one woman, and in college, just in general, I vibe with women more.
Mhm.
Because I'm not fully into sports, really. I don't know. Me and my sister growing up, we were really close. So, like, she was basically my best friend growing up. And then that just kind of easily transitioned. So, in college, I lived with a couple girls.
Mhm.
Still good friends with them. I've been friends with them since like 15 or 16 years old.
Okay.
But then, as an adult, I was dating this one girl. And then I was texting one of the girls that I lived with. And it's literally, there's no sexual tension. It's solely just like friends, bullshitting, jokes, gifs, whatever, memes.
Yeah.
And she just kind of like, she got a weird vibe from it. Anyway, fast forward, she goes out to like California for vacation or something. I later find out that she went and met with her ex-boyfriend and they had like a nice dinner together. They're married, whatever. It was a good life choice for her, you know?
Mhm.
But she didn't tell me, and then I eventually found out. And her logic, and it came from her mom, was he texted and saw someone from his past, aka my friend. I think it's okay that you can go see someone from your past.
Her mom said that.
Her mom.
Well, that
Mind
explains
you,
how messed up she is.
Rudy, there's a whole more lore of this person and family that I could get into. I am not going to, but I was like, you know, weirdly, I dodged a bullet from that, but that's such a knife into the side of like, what do you want me to do? You know?
Yeah. And it's funny because a lot of people, when that does happen, you know, myself included, until I kind of like got my bearings, is that you blame yourself. Like, what about me? What about me? And if you think about it, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them and their insecurities and where they're getting their advice from. And but I think if more people understood that you are fine, you did nothing wrong. I mean, the way you explained it, it's logical, makes sense. And the way she reacted, that's her problem. And I think a lot of people need to understand that most times when people cheat, it has nothing to do with you. And
Mm,
that mindset you're talking about with beauty, there's a psychological effect called the halo effect when it comes to men. When men date a beautiful woman, we get this possessive identity, like I want this, and I'm not going to let it go because I want this person next to me. It has to do with ego and status. Because if you walk in, like I've been there a couple times, where you walk into a bar and you have the best looking woman on your arm, everyone's jealous of you, and you kind of like that. It does something to your fucking ego. But we also tolerate more bullshit because you know we all have standards and we all have our non-negotiables. But when they're hot and they got a nice ass and big old tits, we're like, okay, fuck it. You can be mean, you can be toxic. I'll deal with it. I'll fix her. I'll work on her. We compromise all these standards because of beauty, and it's called the halo effect. And I think, and also the caveat or the consequence of that is guys have this mindset of scarcity. This is the best I'm ever going to get. This is the most beautiful woman I'm ever going to have in my life, and I can't let it go, which is all idiocy. And I'm guilty of that as well. So it's so funny how psychologically men get into that little trap when it comes to beauty.
mhm. I mean, everything you're saying, yeah, has absolutely happened here or there, a time or two of just like, it's weird because I'll look back and kind of reflect on it and be like, why did I not respect myself? Why did I let this happen, essentially? There's also the mindset here or there, and it could be, but the victim mentality of oh, why me, whatever. And I'm
Yeah.
sure that you maybe run into that with a lot of your, I'm assuming, male clients. I feel like that's more of a male thing of oh, girls aren't shit because of this. And it's okay, take a step back. Were you a good boyfriend? Were you a good mate? Maybe it just wasn't a good fit as well.
Yeah.
Um,
And people don't
yeah.
often think about, if they go back to the beginning, did you force this to happen? Did you make it happen? I mean, a lot of times, a lot of relationships or marriages are forced or pressured by, social constructs and archaic customs. I think getting that whole pressure young people feel from 23 to maybe 28 to hurry up and get married. I think a lot of people, I don't think I know many people compromise and just try to make something work when deep down it's
Mhm.
not going to work. And I think that's why a lot of marriages do end, is that you force a situation, or women give the guy an ultimatum. If you don't propose to me within a year, I'm gone. Well, he loves
Mhm.
you. He doesn't want to lose you, but he's not ready to get married, but he's going to do it anyway. And when he's a fucked up husband, it's your own fault because you forced him into it. And that's how they end. So a lot of times when I dig deep and I ask them questions, it always goes back to the beginning and them kind of making or forcing something that shouldn't have happened. And I try to give them perspective on that, but it's really heartbreaking, like you said, for guys when they thought they have the love of their life and they base it on beauty or whatever, and they give them the house, they're busting their ass all these hours and just giving all the time, and then they end up leaving you for another guy. I can understand 100% that betrayal and that feel, but sometimes we get so caught up investing in a situation, we're not looking at what we're investing in, and it comes back and bites us in the ass. And I wish more guys kind of thought about that, but we all got to live
Mhm.
and learn in our own situations.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, a couple more points I want to talk to you about, and I know I've spoken to a lot of other creators with this, but what are your thoughts on AI and how it's going to impact you as a creator? Like that said, everything. You're not a fan of it?
Well, I'm glad you asked this because I was hoping that this would be a question.
Okay.
I have I just, when I was younger, like 19, first going off to college, I had this anxiety about me of this new life. There's so many new people. Am I gonna fit in? All this other stuff, and it was just this weirdly spiders just crawling in my whole skin or whatever.
Okay.
That I don't know why that was happening at that time or whatever, but that same feeling has come back in the last 6 months or a year. And I don't know if it's the political climate. I don't know if the uneasiness of oh no, where's money coming from to support myself, because content creation is very it's,
Yeah.
you're going to have really good months and then really bad months.
Hmm.
And I'm in this weird paralysis. I weirdly think of, okay, do I need to find an avenue where in 5 years I can swap and continue to do my work or whatever?
Hmm.
But then there's other things that I've thought, and I said, okay, if AI is truthfully going to take over everyone's job, like they say, there's going to be millions of people that are in my situation.
Hmm.
I hope that the government and just the US, the world, is okay, well, we're going to have to do something about this. So I weirdly am, and this is bad, especially in today's world, of putting my faith in just the
Oh,
world to
yeah.
find to find a solution
Why?
for me.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I currently think in its present state, AI is the biggest snake oil salesman mumbo jumbo fake BS.
Okay. Why?
Maybe in 5 to 10 years, it'll be where they claim it is. I think right now it's still them working through the kinks.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I think is, imagine you taking all of your data, a huge data warehouse from your company, shoving it into AI, and then just hoping that that works.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to run both systems side by side. A smart person would do that.
Hmm.
But say you don't, and you just let AI do its thing. At what point do we find one error and then have to go through everyone else's? Imagine just banking all of a sudden was AI.
Hmm.
What if another AI or that AI was and just all of your money is gone all of a sudden?
Yeah.
That's a problem. I think that many problems is why I think we need to like step back from it. But technology and everything moves so quickly that legislation and just like the world or how we accept things is going to be so far behind. Like, it, I'm both hopeful for it, and I'm also like, nah, it's just bullshit right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I'm curious. Again, I don't talk to many other people about that, so I'm really curious on what other people's opinions is or are.
Uh, well, for me, I am concerned about risk and compliance. And what I'm saying that is like, what are the controls that we have? Because maybe I have been raised on movies and I know what Skynet can do and I know what the
Yeah,
Matrix can
yeah,
do. I don't know if it'll
yeah.
get that bad, but right now I think we're at the cusp of like this technological breakthrough. We have like quantum computing now. There's like this one equation that would have taken just a billion years to solve, but this quantum computer did it in 7 minutes. We have so much power and just access to answers at the fingertips. And now I'm scared of what we can do. And I don't have any faith in the government. Yeah, I wish I did. At one point I did in my life, but I have no faith in it now because it's solely incompetent. But when it comes to what I'm seeing on social media, we're at the infancy of this son of a bitch. And it looks pretty good. It looks, janky here and there. But for it only being out a year or two and us kind of playing with it, it's scary how good it can be. Like, you know me, I'm a big Zack Snyder fan. I love the Zack Snyder cut for Justice League. And the fact that people are taking the storyboards of 2 and 3 and making AI compilations, that excites me. Like, hey, if we can't make it, if they're not going to make it, we'll make it ourselves. So I like that idea. But it scares me because, again, it is going to cause a lot of jobs to be let go. I know my ex-brother-in-law was a news director at the local station here on CBS Ken's 5. He was there for 40 years. And he was fired last month because AI took his job. And
Wow.
because now they have AI that's managing the cameras and telling it where to go and this and that. They put the prompt in and boom, you don't need a director. My real job that I'm not going to disclose, but it can be taken by AI probably in the next 5 years. So I am concerned about that. Okay, what if AI just comes in, hey, now we have 10 million people that are now unemployed, like truck drivers, things that factory workers, things like that. They're all going to be taken over. So what is going to happen to those 10 million, 5 million people who are now unemployed in their late 50s or mid 50s like I am? No one's going to want to hire a 50-year-old guy versus a 20-year-old person. So what about them? Is it going to be like a universal income or are we going to get a stipend from what are we going to do? So that's one thing I'm worried about is that when it's here, what about the jobs? What's going to happen with them? So for me, the other part is that I'm kind of excited about it. So I do tinker with it and play with it because I remember when the internet was first coming out, like, hey, let's get a Dell, bro. All those 90s commercials you probably grew up on, all that. I remember the internet being like this one fascinating thing and I ignored it. And now it came in and I felt like I was like an old man trying to catch up to the internet and how computers work. I don't want that to happen to me. So that's why I learn about it. I look at the systems. I know what it can do. And I do implement them here and there when it comes to like strategies for posting and things like that. Like I'll tell it, hey, for my Facebook page, give me a weekly schedule on what I should post, when I should post it, and what hashtags to use. Like what topics are trending with relationships. Boom. And it'll tell me. And I'll make I'll make content based on that, what it's telling me. And I'll post when it's telling me just to kind of help strategize. But to creating it completely, I couldn't do that. I still need to be hands-on.
Okay. I'm curious, how reliable are those like prompts that you're running for your either hashtags or posting schedule or just content in general?
Well, they
Like,
do okay, but there's not like the results that I want. In other words, but I do go to Google Trends. Oh, what's trending? Oh, divorces. Okay. Well, for this week on Rude Advice, I'm gonna just talk about nothing but divorces. Then the next week it's cheating or whatever the case is. So I try my best to strategize, not just kind of shoot from the hip. And it does help somewhat guide me to the right answer, but sometimes it's not 100% effective, of course.
see, that's a fascinating thing because I love that where it could potentially give you like an insight. It's almost like it's not insider trading, but it's like, hey, here's a tip. Here's a tip on this stock. And you're like, oh, okay, I'll run with this or not. I'm hands-on creative. I love cooking, the making, editing videos, all that stuff. So like I would probably, even if AI was a thing and I, can upload my 7 years of old videos, it can make a video of me, it can make a script, it can mimic my voice. At that point though, am I even living? Like,
right.
I still love to make it. If it can help erase things in like Photoshop or maybe make a transition a little bit better. Like, for example, in Premiere Pro, you can click a button and it'll cut every time there's a cut in footage.
Yeah.
That saves me hundreds of hours. It is technically AI, but I don't think it's or like in a sense going to take my job AI.
Yeah.
I'm
you're using it as a tool to help you.
And the thing is, like you're saying, where you kind of like, I wouldn't say missed the boat on the internet, but like didn't adopt that as early as you maybe wanted. That is one kind of thing in the back of my mind about AI right now, where I'm like, okay, maybe I need to just use this to actually understand it. So then when it gets to the holy shit, all of a sudden jobs are gone. I at least have like a baseline knowledge of like how this works.
Yeah.
The problem is with technology, especially AI, that shit is going to be moving so quickly, because you know how tech is. I mean, imagine 20 years ago. We didn't have 20 years ago. Yeah, we didn't have these.
Yeah.
You know? It's just fascinating to see how much is moving. And that's why I'm kind of like, okay, well, I think we'll be okay, but I'm also absolutely terrified. Because again, like you're saying, the government seems to like to give them money, and they keep saying that it's going to do it. I mean, cool. If I can get a universal income and then literally just do this full time, not even worry about money, great. But that's in a perfect world, and we don't live in that.
No, we don't. We live in a world where apparently there are people that kill babies, drink their blood, and all these horrible things that I've seen on the Epstein files, man. It's like, oh God, I don't even want to bring that up, but you know what I'm talking about. That's the world we're living in.
I mean, I'll just say this one thing. Even trying to talk about that makes me sound like a crazy person. I try to talk to my parents because they only watch TV, and then I tell them everything that I know from social media and just reading the files or documents myself. And I'm like, I sound like a crazy person. So,
but this is actually from the DOJ website. Exactly. You're not getting it from like Conspiracy USA. This is really happening. Yeah. Oh God, it's like, oh, and then there's UFOs and there's all these things. I mean, I remember growing up in the 90s and loving the X-Files. I think it's one of the greatest television shows of all time. And I remember thinking, what if one day we finally get, you know, like a disclosure, the truth is out there. Now we're the government saying, hey, there are aliens out there. I'm like, I don't give a fucking shit. The economy sucks. I never thought I would be thinking like that. Like, fuck the aliens, man. I can't afford my house. That's another thing. Like, hold on real quick. Like, I am making the most money I've ever made in my life. Not that I'm rich. You know, I'm not rich. I'm making a decent amount of money where I'm getting by. For the first time in my life, I'm getting by where my wife and I can go to a show here and there. But I still feel like I'm making like 30, 40,000 a year. It's like, what? Things are too fucking expensive. And I feel bad for my kids. And my daughter's like, she's a senior in college. She's going to be a child psychologist. My son, he's going to be a trade. He wants to be a plumber. So I'm happy with that. AI can't take a trade like that, right? There's no AI.
AI don't know shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
But it bothers me that they're not going to be able to afford a home because things are getting so fucking expensive, man. So I just wanted to finish on that, but I didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you going to say?
Oh, no. I mean, jumping off of that, the whole home thing is very interesting because I have two really good friends. We do a podcast here or there as well. And one of them got a house. And we were having a conversation about a year ago, maybe 6 months ago. And it's just like he expressed this and he says, I feel like I'm the last one on the train, the last one on the boat. I got to safety. I got a home. And the other two that don't have a home were kind of like, I mean, I kind of think, yeah, like I'll maybe be able to get a home, but it's going to be expensive. It's probably not going to be where I want, what I want. I'm definitely going to have a partner to help chip in for that. Like this whole idea of getting a home by yourself is a kind of a pipe dream unless you have a very good career and are very financially savvy, I would say. And I mean, I am, but even in that realm, I could not get a house myself right now.
And I know, and that breaks my heart, man, because I mean, they sell the idea to us when we're younger that home ownership is like part of the American dream. And many people who've gone to college and have a good job and make more than their parents ever made can't get a home because it's so ridiculously inflated. And I'm thinking homes are probably going to be like in Spain where like multi-generations live. They're like grandma and grandpa live in the basement, then mom and dad live here, then the children live up here. That's probably what it's going to have to be for a while, which I don't mind. But it just breaks my heart that things are just so expensive right now. And I don't know if it's ever going to get any better. It's not going to get better right now with fuckface saying that, you know, things are better than ever. And like, no, where? Like, where is it better? I mean, it's hard everywhere. We're all struggling, and it's just unfortunate. And movies just recently have now become an escape for me. Like, movies have always helped me, especially with my divorce. Right, they could get my mind off things. I'll go watch a comedy, a Mel Brooks comedy, and for a good period of last year, I was really in a bad place, man. Just because seeing what was going on with Latinos and how we're being treated, and everybody just saying, mass deportations and this and that. I carry a passport right now. A lot of my cousins were impacted with this. Like my mother-in-law, her friend's husband, he was kidnapped or abducted by ICE because
Holy shit.
yeah, he had business. He had like 3 trucks cutting grass, and he was cutting grass at the rich people's neighborhood up here in San Antonio. He had a contract with them, but he wasn't a citizen. He only had been here like 30, 40 years, but he was in his mid 60s, and they arrested him, and she doesn't know where she's at. She doesn't know where he's at. She can't find him. So like my mother-in-law's crying, and I'm over here like, God, man, this is insane. Because now it's weird. Like, when it's turned off the news, Rudy, I can do that, but when I have somebody crying in the other room who knows somebody who's been impacted, it's different. When I go to the store and I see nice trucks at HEB or the grocery store, I'm like, it's right in front of my face, man. So it was hard last year. So movies really recently started helping me get back in there and to escape and to kind of at least get some joy out of life sometimes. So it was really hard, man. And my wife and I, we watch Mystery Science Theater. I don't know if you know what that is, but
oh yeah,
at night we watch that, and we and her crack up. And the fact that I have somebody who loves that type of show, it really helps out, man. So movies are definitely needed, man. And I'm going to steer this to movies real quick. I saw you post on the threads that you're not going to see Scream 7 like me. I'm not going to see it, but do you care to share why you're not going to see Scream 7?
Yeah. I First off, I think the very first Scream, I watched Scary Movie when I was a kid, like 11, 12 years old, Scary Movie, the comedy version of that. So then when I went and watched Scream, I think the very first time I ever watched it was like for content, like 5, 6 years ago. And I was like, oh, okay. I've already basically seen this movie. So like Scream never fully held that spot in my heart that people watched in the 90s and whatnot,
Yeah.
or hold it to high regard. I've watched all the movies. I just feel like, okay, I get it. It's the same thing over and over again. Someone is terrorizing someone and then at the rug pull and then there's Ghostface.
Yeah.
There's that aspect. Again, I'm not fully into politics, but there was that whole instance with the lead actress. And I just think that that's like, dude, stop. Like, stop. Also, I believe Paramount owns Scream, right?
Yeah, Spyglass and Paramount are like affiliates.
I'm not a fan of Paramount and what they're doing and their owners currently, especially with just the blatant censorship and stuff. So, hey, if my $12 somehow affects them not getting my $12, great. I know I'm probably not doing anything, but like that's just where I'm standing on this. I'm not going to give my money or support for someone who theoretically is not here for the good and good of humans, I guess.
Yeah. But that's more or less the same reason that I chose not with Paramount, because I'm aware of Paramount and CBS, the whole thing. But I remember, was it 2023 where Melissa Barrera, she was just saying like, hey, this genocide that's going on, this is bad. We should stop. And I think every one of us at one point on our feed has seen something pretty horrific that we can't unsee. I know I have. And it breaks my heart. And again, I'm not choosing sides with Hamas or Israel, but genocide is bad. I think universally, we all as human beings could say killing all these people is bad. And the fact that she just said that and Spyglass called her anti-Semitic comments and said it was hate speech. I remember in 2023 when this happened, I'm like, fuck them. That's wrong. I mean, she's not spreading hate. She's not calling for us to attack another demographic or look at a demographic in a hateful way with an evil lens. She was just saying, hey, we need to stop this. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I remember making the decision back then, like, they're letting go of a Latina actress. Fuck them. I'm especially what she said, and it wasn't controversial whatsoever. I'm not supporting the film moving forward. And I made a video on my channel, like, this is why I'm not going to see it. And the reactions to that have been more or less, hey, we understand, I get it. And there's other people like, fuck it, whatever. I'm going to check it out anyway. But that's why I chose not to see it. They're not going to get a cent from me. And again, what is my $12 going to do to them? Probably fucking nothing, right? Not a damn thing, right? But I am not going to support them whatsoever. I'll check it out when it's on HBO or whatever, like for free. But I'm not going to support a platform that fires people for just speaking, hey, let's do the right thing. Fuck you, Spyglass.
There's also again, probably can't get into specifics, but there was a paid campaign or some other stuff that I know about, and I don't know. I just feel like they're like jipping. They're being cheap on creators. I don't know. It's my own personal grievance, I guess.
Go ahead, man. If you want, let it out. It doesn't matter.
Well, again, I don't know how much I can even say because there's like NDAs and stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I don't know. I just think that like they're wanting people to promote this stuff, but they're not paying them the appropriate amount. And I just think that that's stingy. And I really hope that that's not the way that like creative, influencers making money. It's just like, hey, here's a pot of money. Everyone make videos. We'll give it to maybe like 5 of you. And I'm like, no, you're getting free marketing out of people with the false hope that you're going to pay them.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I haven't had a sponsorship in a while, and believe it or not, and my IG account is starting to get some traction. I went from like 5,000 to 28,000, like in less like half a year. So I'm getting traction on IG, right? I'm not getting paid because you can't get paid with views on IG, right? But you get sponsorships. And I got a sponsorship yesterday, like, hey, we love your content. We'd love to send you a PR package. No obligation. If you're interested, let me know. And I looked at it, and it's from Head and Shoulders shampoo. And I'm like, what the fuck are you trying to say? And my wife's like, I knew you would take it that way. You should do it anyway. I'm like, okay. And I responded, okay, what are the obligations? Do I need to make a video? What are you asking of me? And how much am I going to get paid? And they go, oh, we have all the details. We'll send it to you later and all that stuff. So I think I'm going to have my first sponsorship with Head and Shoulders. What I'm going to film, if I have to film, I don't know. We'll see. But I finally get to click on that option when you're uploading a video. Is there a sponsorship? Yes. Yep. With who? Head and Shoulders. So next podcast you see with like Rude Advice and Head and Shoulders logo here, just you'll know why.
Now a quick ad, and it's just you soaping up for 30 seconds. Oh man.
But
it is funny though, like just creator to creator and other people that are creators out there, just kind of the not the insane, but the emails for products you'll get, and you're like, what is
that got to do with me?
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, you don't even know how to market your product.
So I'm getting a package in, but I want to end this on a good note, man. I love your retro channel because, again, you can see you grew up with Fox Kids, and it's pretty obvious. And I love, Jesus, man, from a creator standpoint, I know editing a quick video with clips and all that is tedious. But you, Jesus Christ, man, I mean, there's filters, there's animations, there's all these things, and it's like it takes a lot of work to do that. And the fact that you grew up on Fox Kids, Fox Kids. I want to ask you, because my era for cartoons was 86 through maybe 91 when Batman the Animated Series came out. But that was my Saturday mornings. Yours was probably mid-90s. What's your favorite Fox cartoon growing up as a kid?
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, I did get a few 80s one thrown in there because, like, I guess transparency or whatever, like, we didn't have cable growing up. So those cartoons and everything, my grandpa would record them, and every time he came to visit, he'd bring us an old VHS tape. Like I think I got him back here.
That's still, so cool.
And I tried to rip him and stuff because he passed away a few years ago. But that is why I love those, because it was like weirdly Christmas. It's like, hey, and here's a new tape. 4 hours of cartoon. I don't know what's on there. But for the one that I loved on Fox Kids, I mean, Spider-Man for sure, but that's such a generic answer.
X-Men
for sure. I'm trying to think of like off the wall ones. Like, I mean, I was in the era of like Eek the Cat, Bobby's World. I mean, also like a little bit later, like Cartoon Network, like that late 90s, like Cartoon Network was really cool with like Courage the Cowardly Dog, Ed, Edd and Eddy and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. I just love, like, that was my childhood growing up was, you know, there was the Fox Kids on the morning, but then there was also the one Saturday morning on ABC. We didn't have Nickelodeon. I don't know. It's just interesting to kind of look back and be like, how many other people, and with the views on that channel, people grew up with that stuff, and they are craving for kind of an escape from, you know, just the world or whatever. And truthfully, if a corporation was smart, they would start making those blocks of their cartoons and putting them out there. But I understand that they obviously probably can't put like commercials in there. But like weirdly, the commercials I like more than the cartoons for those because, I mean, commercials I felt like were just so much more creative and fun back then.
They were weird back then.
Yeah. They were. I think that's what I appreciated, and probably where some of my creativity came from was back then. They're like, "Hey, we have this product," and they're just doing wackadoo stuff. Rather than now, it's just like, "Here's a product, blah blah blah." Like back then, they're just doing weird stuff.
Yeah,
and
people turning into fruits and their heads exploding with juicy fruit.
Gushers, man.
Gushers. Yeah, you've heard the gut. That's what I'm talking about. Gushers.
Oh yeah.
The PlayStation commercials were always weird and like David Lynchian. I'm like, it's so odd now, man. And nowadays they play it safe. But yeah, I wanted to ask that to see what you would say, man, because there's that nostalgia or that homesickness sometimes I feel because again, I'm now 40. I'm going to be 49 next month, and it's like you finally realize I have less days in front of me than I do behind me, and you get really sentimental. You get really nostalgic, and I think back at those days watching the real Ghostbusters and Beetlejuice and coming home from high school. I remember I was a freshman in high school coming home and I would still watch cartoons, but I wouldn't tell anybody because I'm too grown up to watch cartoons as a freshman in high school, right? And I remember seeing the first episode of Batman, the anime series, and I'm like, this is fucking amazing. And to this day, I still watch those cartoons because it's just so artistic, that noir type of effect, and it's just... It's timeless. So I will always take that to heart. I will always remember having a bowl of Captain Crunch and watching those cartoons. It's a special place, man.
No, I would say the Batman animated series, that was a big one that I would watch. The Superman one, I've just never. I enjoyed the Superman movie that recently came out. I've enjoyed them because I know you're a huge Superman fan.
Yeah.
That just never hit me. I think my parents didn't show me the movies as a kid or anything. I was way more of a Batman kid.
Yeah.
But then, like, I'm trying to think like Animaniacs.
That's a good one.
Power Rangers at that. Yeah, Animaniacs.
That was very clever. I love that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, good stuff. And then I kind of I think weirdly that got me a little bit into anime. I'm not even like a huge anime fan, but I loved Pokemon and Digimon because I was like the perfect age for Pokemon cards and all of that stuff. So I don't know. It's just kind of a fun little side project, nostalgia. I want to start making more, but I will be honest, obviously you're dealing with copyright. So it's a lot of trial and error of okay, does anyone own these rights? And I'll upload, and then it's like, no, you can't do that. Or you can find some editing tricks to get around the filter. I mean, this.
Yeah, it could be a pain in the ass.
Flip it or mirror it, and
you flip it, mirror, put a filter above it or something like that. And then when you upload it, it took 4 hours to render. You upload it. Oh, there's this one copyright for 5 seconds of it. You son of a bitch! And they got to take it out, re-upload it, re-export it. It's a pain in the ass, man. But yeah, man. Again, man, I want to sincerely, man, thank you. I know I've known you a long time. You came to my house at one time. We hung out for a little bit, and I've been wanting to reach out to you. I know you've been super busy, but again, man, I've always appreciated your creativity, your passion, and we've had conversations. You've reached out to me regarding episodes of Rude Advice and how it helped you, and you're in my thoughts, dude. So I'm glad we had some time to sit down and talk and catch up on things, and I'm glad you're in a good space and you're doing well. And again, man, thank you for being on the podcast.
No, thank you. I mean, again, this was. I'm a fan, Rudy. Once you announced your Rude Advice, I listened to those episodes or whatever all the time when you had guests on, and it was just interesting because I like learning or just getting the insight into things that maybe I'm not fully in on. So the dating advice from other people's perspective and just learning all of that. It was very fascinating. But I'm glad that we finally got to connect because you mentioned that I showed up at your place and filmed to where you're at right now. Yeah. That was right at the beginning of COVID. I remember I was down for South by Southwest, drove to your place, did a podcast, and then I literally flew out that afternoon. So
yeah, you went out of your way, man. So that's awesome, dude. And
no, it was really, really fun.
Are you going to be doing that again, South by Southwest, or maybe coming to Fantastic Fest? Because I know Cody and Sean and a few others do.
Yeah. Fantastic Fest has been thrown around a few times here or there. I've considered it, but I haven't pulled the trigger. South by Southwest, I did a couple years ago. A few people have asked me again this year. I'm not going to do that. I don't know. I just feel like film festivals, I'm not a huge, I don't know. I like them, but I don't because it's a lot of standing in line to be honest, for a movie that I could see in 2 weeks. But before we go, I will say it is crazy. I'm glad that we got it on the horn or whatever because just February, from the start of February to the end of February, it's like night and day because I was in a bad place at the beginning and got COVID. That's how bad the month started.
Mm-hmm.
The month ends with this podcast with you, and then literally a few days ago, I went to a premiere, my very first premiere ever in Hollywood for season 2 of Monarch.
I saw that.
Legacy of Monsters. And it's just like, what is my life? What is the life of a creator? I don't know. Just the span of a month can be that much of a seesaw, essentially. So I guess if you're out there and you're struggling, just know that it's going to get better.
Yeah, like, don't quit. Don't quit.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
Don't quit, because you never know when you might get that big break or that video that go viral. And it's a wonderful feeling, especially when you're making content that connects to people. Like, I think we both can understand that feeling when you get somebody messaging you and saying, "Hey, man, your content is really awesome." And when people tell me you really helped me out with my divorce, I still cry when people tell me like, "Hey, I was in a dark moment and your video or whatever, the Rude Advice, helped me save my life." And it really hits me, because I guess it's like an artist writing a song and somebody singing it back to you. That's kind of maybe a little too cliche, or maybe delusions of grandeur. But it's very special, and it can be an up and down type of like a wave of just highs and lows. But just keep at it, man, and you'll get there. But Jared, again, thank you so much, brother. I really do appreciate your time, and thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it.